Derek from the Olive Oil Co. Today we're doing Carne Asada. Now for this, you know what? I need some steak. We don't have steak. I'm gonna call my friend Ashley Brown from Browndale Farms. Hold on. There she is.
Hey Derek, how are ya?
Hey, good. You?
Good. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm hoping to do a steak recipe this weekend. Would you be able to help me out?
Yeah, for sure. We've got tons. We've got flank, we've got blade, we've got T-bone. Not quite sure what you're looking for, but we can definitely figure something out. What recipe are you looking to do?
Well, the plan is I'm going to be doing a Carne Asada, so I need a nice steak for that.
Oh, I don't have the right steak for you. So I've got some amazing blade steaks, and they would be perfect for that. So I'll get them set up for you, and if you need any other sausage, ground beef, anything like that at all, we'll definitely get you all set up.
Perfect. You know what? Could you toss that over?
There you go.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Ashley. All right, we got our steak. Let's make our Carne Asada. Now, I just want a moment again to thank Ashley from Browndale Farms. They have supplied us with this beautiful blade steak. At Browndale Farms, you can get all kinds of beef products. You can get dairy products. They're really a bunch of stand-up guys. For Carne Asada, you're going to need a lot of citrus. So we have a couple of oranges, we have 2 limes, we also have a lemon that we're going to cut into for all their beautiful juices. The limes we got from Alberta Farms again. I love their produce, honestly. They're local, they're good quality. You got to still go check them out if you haven't yet. Now a little tip to get more juice from your citrus is to actually give it a nice little roll. Kind of loosens everything up inside the orange. Don't be afraid to squeeze a little bit, as long as you don't explode it onto your board. So let's give it a little cut here. Let's get our juice. Now for this, you want half a cup of orange juice. Really get in there. A little trick to getting rid of the pulp is if you have a little strainer, you can always get rid of that as you're putting it into the bowl. So start with that half, get this guy. Just for half a cup, just to make sure we got the right amounts. For each of these juices, we're just going to be popping them into a medium-sized bowl. So let's get our orange juice in there. And then we're doing the same with the 2 limes and 1 lemon. Now for this next bit, we're getting into some jalapenos. So safety first. Because you don't want to get this on your hands and then touch your eyes later, because as humans we tend to touch our faces a lot. We need to stop doing that. So let's be careful with our jalapenos. And as you're cutting, you kind of just want to go smaller and smaller lengthways. Let's get that. We're basically dicing this up. Take these bits, throw them into our marinade. Next, you want to take a 1/4 cup of chopped cilantro. So again, I got this from Alberta Farms. My buddy's over there. I got it from Mike. And let's get this roughly chopped. It's all nice and chopped, all say, it's nice and rough, so let's get that. Our marinade as well. Next, you need 4 cloves of garlic. So a quick tip is that a teaspoon is technically a clove of minced garlic. So let's get 4 of those guys in here. You'll also need a teaspoon of cumin. This calls for 2 tablespoons of our A Premium white balsamic vinegar. It just gives it a real nice tang. And we're also going to use 2 tablespoons of jalapeno white balsamic, just for even more nice flavor. Now, if you don't want the heat of the actual jalapenos, you could totally do 4 tablespoons of this balsamic because it has more of the flavor of jalapeno, not so much the heat. Now the real star of the show from the Olive Oil Co. is the blood orange olive oil. This oil is one where they actually take pieces of blood orange and they crush it with the olives into what's called an agrumato method. It just brings the olive oil and the blood orange together really nice. So let's get that in the marinade. And you need half a teaspoon of salt. And about half a teaspoon of black pepper. And then you grab a trusty whisk, start to mix it all up. Just want to get it to the point where it's all nice and combined. Now that you have this all together, you want to make sure you get 1/3 of a cup, because you're going to be using this for extra later. So I'm just making sure I get this nice and mixed up. So I'm getting the cilantro, the jalapeno bits, just get that in there, and the garlic and everything. Let's say that's pretty good for 1/3. So once you have this reserve of the marinade, you just want to cover it, put it in your fridge, let it sit overnight. So we've just taken the steak out of its wrapping. I mean, would you look at this steak? Do you see that beautiful marbling there? I mean, look at that steak. It's gorgeous. So what you want to do is get a container that's big enough to put your steak in. Perfect. Get this out of the way. All right, now that that is in there, we just want to get our marinade all over it. Now what's interesting is, science is awesome, and there's a lot of science to this too. The citrus is going to help break down the steak. Citrus also, when mixed with iron, helps your body absorb more iron. Isn't science cool? By the way, if you like bow ties, visit Bird & Bee in the Winston Mills Market in Paris, Ontario. She has tons of bow ties. She's got lots of cool vintage stuff. Go check her out. Now once you have that covered and in the fridge, you can actually let this marinate for about 24 hours. Ashley did tell me when she does this recipe, she sometimes even lets it rest for 48. Basically, the citrus is just going to tenderize the meat even more and make it really, really nice. But we're just going to do 24 hours for this one. Hey guys, it's the next day. We've let our steak rest just under 24 hours. We're just about to cook it up, so let's get it out of here. We got to pat it dry, and we're going to get it in the cast iron pan. So let's get the lid off this, have our little reveal. Ooh, smells amazing. So let's just get all these bits off the top, because we got to pat it dry anyway. Let's get this onto a plate. Again, so we just want to make sure that we pat this dry. We don't want all the little bits coming off into the pan. We want a nice cook on this. Alright, so we're gonna let this rest and get up to room temperature. Meanwhile, you can start to prep your corn tortillas, and one thing that actually makes this really, really special is if you go to the Wincy Mills Co., you want to go visit Flor at Florcita's Latin Foods. She has amazing mango salsa. Let's show me getting it from her. Alright guys, we are inside the Wincy Mills and I am about to order from Florcita's Classic Latin Foods. Flor, ¿cómo está?
Bien, gracias. ¿Cómo estás?
Ah, muy bien. Dos mango salsa, por favor. Corn tortilla.
¿Con tortilla? Okay.
That's about the only Spanish that I know.
¿Carne asada?
Sí, carne asada.
With mango? Oh, that's delicious.
Ah, awesome. I'm gonna pay and head on out. Good to see you, Flor.
Gracias. Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Que quede muy deliciosa la carne asada.
Sí. Our pan is ready. Let's get our steak in there. Nice sizzle. We are going to let this sit for 6 minutes. We're going to do 6 minutes aside. Steak is done to our liking. Beautiful color. Let's get it on our board. Now, key part to any steak recipe is you want to let this rest 10 minutes before we start cutting it up. Now that our steak is rested for about 10 minutes, what you want to do, you want to get rid of all the fatty bits. And when you go to cut your strips of beef, you kind of want to go against the grain. So basically you want to get some nice long skinny strips here. Now we have the reserve bit of marinade that we took out yesterday. What you can do is either use this like a sauce once all your meat and everything's on the tortilla. What we like to do is make sure all our meat's in a bowl and we just add reserve marinade to it. Whew boy, it smells so good. So we got our tortilla. Let's get some beef in here. Some nice pieces. Too. We'll get a bit of the mango salsa from Florcita. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright. So, I have heard that the rule of this kind of thing is you have to bow to the taco so you don't lose anything. So, let's do our taste test. A little messy. It's so worth it. Beef is so nice and tender. Mango salsa just gives it an extra excellent pop. Such an awesome summer meal. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys next time. Now that I look like a mime, I have some gloves on because this marinade calls for 1 jalapeno seeded and diced. So oh, jeez.
There you go. Sorry, that was kind of like.
By the way, if you like bow ties, visit Bird and Bee at the Wincy Mills. They have lots of great bow ties and lots of fun. The real star product of the show from the Olive Oil Co. is the blood orange olive oil. This oil is, you know what? Once you have that covered and in the fridge, you can actually let that sit up to 24 hours. You can, Ashley even told me that when we were going to... Now the star product of the show from the Olive Oil Co. is the blood orange olive oil. I was supposed to do this. One of the things you will need for this to make it even more special is if you go to Wincy Mills, go see Flor and get her mango... Florcita's Latin Foods? I should probably use that. Okay. Jeez. That was a juicy lemon. My gosh. I was not expecting that. Holy. Is that caught on camera?